It's been confirmed. Julius Novachrono's connections to the time devil Astaroth, and him actually being the fourth Zogratis sibling, is canon in the Black Clover manga. As it would be revealed that Lucius Zogratis was in control of major events in the series and was planning everything. With Adrammelech having stolen Lucifero's heart and taking it to Lucius, they can now finally enact their plan of creating undying bodies for humanity. This leaves us with the final saga, the Ultimate Wizard King saga. Tabata is currently taking a 3-month hiatus to plan this final saga, and with this crazy latest chapter in Black Clover, chapter 331, I want to make a quick theory that will act as a teaser for one of my main video projects coming to this channel. Before we get into the video, I will say don't fret about Black Clover ending. I would say that we would have a bare minimum of 1 year of weekly chapters after the series returns, though I would suspect at least 2 to 3 years actually. As the first part of Black Clover was the Elf Saga, which was over 220 chapters, the Spade Saga just finished at a bit over 100 chapters, so I believe that the likely minimum is somewhere between 100 to 150 chapters left of Black Clover, which is another 2 to 3 years worth of chapters. It is still possible for it to be longer, but I kind of doubt it. But it would have to be somewhat long because it's a 3-month preparation to create the final arc. I also want to plug to you guys the Mithril app. It's an app where it features dozens of stories and art for the stories, which are displayed in a unique lore card that are very original and interesting. I was one of the 20 writers that they accepted onto their platform out of the hundreds that applied. My story, Hester's Last Case, is on the app, and you can go through to read the first 13 chapters for free. I'd be so happy if you guys read my story. Now, over the years, I've got a lot of people calling me crazy or an outright idiot for the theories that I have made in Black Clover. The Julius Zogratis theory was one of the most controversial, but with that being confirmed, I'd say it has added a lot of credibility to my theories. But keep in mind that this is really nothing new. I've made many theories within the Spade Saga that have come true, like that the Dark Triad wanted William's World Tree magic, so they connect to the underworld, that Mimosa's healing magic would get an absolutely broken amplification on top of it and prevent deaths, that Asta would wield Yami's katana and imbue it with anti-magic, or when Yami gets kidnapped, his katana gets left behind and Asta is able to imbue that with anti-magic, and then that's maybe what's to defeat that would be Dante. So hype. Yeah, like what I have talked about. Yami would become empowered by the Cliff-Off ritual and become a devil, that Odin would appear in the story, Dark Triad were likely sent forward in time, and many more that I'm missing out on and not thinking of in my brain right now. So I have already gotten a bunch of theories right, so let's just keep it coming. So right now it seems that Lucius may have some sort of soul or brain/mind magic, as Julius may have been a false construct that he created. As Julius acted as a different person, he wanted Damnatio to stop Lucius manifesting inside of him. He himself had inner thoughts, which showed that Julius was confused by what was going on with him, and also had an inner monologue of him actually being a good guy. This could mean that Julius was a false soul or a false personality created by Lucius. This would be needed for Lucius, as key users can tell when one is lying, so he would need to have a true personality to sidestep this, as well as Mark's memory magic. If he were to ever have to stand trial against him, this personality would be able to go against it. It is likely that Lucius is sticking to his plans of creating undying bodies for humanity so that they can become immortal, as this is the likely reason for needing Lucifero's heart. As for Adrammelech, it may be a deal with Lucius, where humanity gets half of Lucifero's heart so they can get undying bodies, whereas Adrammelech could consume the other half and become the new ruler of hell. Furthermore, Lucius seemingly has a double spade grimoire, with one of these spades being upside down, which symbolizes rebirth. It also has lotus flowers on the grimoire, which symbolizes rebirth as well. And that really does seem to be his whole plan. So I think that is why I think soul magic makes sense for him, because generally the point of having a soul is rebirth or reincarnation, which would really fit with the whole theme of the story and of his character. But it seems that either subconsciously or by pulling the strings, Lucius manipulated Julius to follow everything according to plan. While this chapter that revealed Lucius Zogratis and the Time Devil, I think that there are some very interesting details in the chapter that actually reveal far more about the plot itself, but of course, these are overshadowed by the main plot twists according to Tabata's design. If you reveal the whole loaf of bread, nobody will notice the crumbs. Those breadcrumbs are vastly important in context though. The first one is that I'll go over is that the qualities of Lucius's contract with Astaroth is likely vastly different to the contract of the Dark Triad and their devils, as Damnatio,
actually discovered that Megicula had usurped Astaroth, and Astaroth had left the underworld. This is vastly different from the Dark Triad. Megicula, Beelzebub, and Lucifera were all in the underworld when contracted with the Dark Triad, but for some reason, this is different for Lucius and Astaroth. Why is this? Well, this is what I believe is the difference here. While Dante, Vonica, and Zenon made contracts with their devils, I believe that Lucius has full control over the Time Devil Astaroth. Similar to Noct and his 4 devils, the reason being is that doing a devil binding ritual actually summons the devil into the physical world, and that they are defeated, and that they are then bonded to their new master. So it would make sense that around 20 years ago, Lucius summoned Astaroth from the underworld and defeated him in a devil binding ritual. This makes sense because he is not in the underworld, and we know that Lucius has his powers. This revelation confirms that some sort of time travel has taken place in the series. Remember, the Dark Triad were not given any ages in their bio pages. There's also the weird anomaly of the Dark Disciples being in their mid-20s, but also being adult size in the flashback, which would make them around 9 years old, but they're full-grown adults. Furthermore, we know that in chapter 231 that Zenon is not used to using devil power or having a devil, as Dante straight up asks him if he's gotten used to the devil power yet, which would make no sense if he actually got Beelzebub 17 years ago. As remember that in the flashbacks, the Dark Triad have their devils. So what this should mean is that after the Dark Triad took over the Spade Kingdom 17 years ago, they were sent forward in time to just after the Elf Arc, and then trained for 6 months. I mean, look at this. Vonica has just gotten Megicula, and can already use a significant portion of the devil power to fight Acier. It's less than her 50% devil power, but still a lot, likely something like 40%. But we're supposed to believe she only gets to around 70% in 17 years' time. I think that this just confirmed that Lucius sent his siblings forward in time, as well as their disciples. So this is what I think here. Astaroth is probably going to be a good guy. Lucius certainly is not, which adds a lot more credence to my Asta sent forward in time theory. As in the anime, when it shows Lucita drop Asta off at the church is in good condition and the trees are filled with life, which is very different to what we see in episode 1, where the church is broken down and the tree lacks leaves. Even in the background, there is no demon-licked skeleton, which would have to mean that Asta was dropped off at the church 500 years in the past. Shortly after he was dropped off at the church, Demon Lick dies and Lucita finds the grimoire, which fits perfectly with Sekira's statement as she said that she slept for the first few years after she turned into a bird, which is the only explanation for why Lucita could have Lick's grimoire in the first place. What I think is that Astaroth saw the future where he would be defeated by Lucius and would be fully submissive to Lucius. And then so he sent Asta forward in time so that he could pair with Liba, that would technically allow for Lucius to use Asta for his own plans, but also lead to his ultimate downfall when True Devil Union Asta defeats Lucius. So yeah, that is kind of my starting theory of what I think is going to be happening here in this part, in this final saga of Black Clover. Lucius probably has some sort of soul or brain/mind magic, which either would fit with the theme of the Dark Triad's powers. I think that he will not only get all of the powers of the Dark Triad, but he will also be coming for the other Cliff-Off Devils. So look out for a possible Lucius that has a devil union with Astaroth. So he has his soul magic and time magic, but also with Lucifera's heart takes his gravity, possibly goes after Beelzebub and has Beelzebub's space, and it also has the magic all of his siblings. So imagine a Lucius with soul, blood, body, and bone magic, as well as time, gravity, and space. He could be utterly unstoppable, and also possibly immortal with his undying body. Now, rapid theory time. I don't want to make this video super long because I have other video projects to work on, as well as the overall theory project will likely be 2 45-minute parts, but I will remind you guys and add some new theories of what could be coming this arc. Don't forget about my Devil Hybrid Asta theory. I won't go over it in full in this video, but I will in my grand theory video. But you should know all of the evidence by now of the Devil Hybrid Asta theory. As for Asta's father, it will likely be Astaroth, so that he could send his own son forward in time to save him. Although I think that it could be that with the added evidence that Megicula was from essentially the same gate as Astaroth and is the one that usurped him, as after Astaroth left the underworld, it could be that Megicula used to take orders from Astaroth. And that means that Astaroth may have actually ordered Megicula to curse Lucita so that Asta could become magicless and possibly become a devil hybrid through the forbidden magic caused by that. Part of Lucius's plan for my theory, is for Asta to defeat Lucifero, but also part of that plan is Yuno killing Asta, as a true devil unit Asta would likely get in the way of the rest of his plans, which would also fit my other theory that Asta will die and then get stronger in the afterlife. If somehow Yuno has to fight and kill Asta if he ever goes berserk, or if Yuno is manipulated by some form of brain or time magic and tricked into killing Asta by Lucius, then despairing and creating a 5-leaf Clover Grimoire, that Grimoire possibly being used for a Dramalik, thus fitting the symbolism and the duality of the series. And more theories to go on, but I'm going to have to stop from there, because I actually have a lot of really good theories this arc, so I better just stop here. While I am planning that big video project, I might actually post some shorter theories in the meantime that I think are really good and have a lot of merit. But anyways, that's it for the video. Check out my story on Mithril, and stay tuned for my Asta vs. Yuno video next week. That is my first real video project on the channel, so I really hope you enjoy it. It is a comprehensive power scale of the many different versions of Asta and Yuno in the Spade Saga. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to hear more about my Black Clover takes, follow me on Twitter, linked down below. Hope you have an amazing day. Peace out.